Shadow 4 Gamers, Skydu Broman, back in Elite Dangerous, finally. Beta version 2.03 is what we're doing today. Beta 2 was released actually just a couple of days ago, so they've already had a couple of hot fixes. There's probably a few more on the way. There's at least one more bug that I know for sure was giving us trouble yesterday when we tried to record this, so I'm going to try to avoid those. I think I know how to this time. We'll get to that in a few. I haven't been doing any videos in Elite Dangerous, although I've really wanted to. I've actually been wanting to do this particular video for a little while now. There's a lot of news coming out of Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen that I wanted to talk about today. But I've been waiting for Beta 2, and I've been trying to avoid playing this game, honestly. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to wear it out before the final release comes out like I have with Kerbal Space Program. I want to actually play this game when it comes out, so I have been trying not to do too much in it. What I have been doing is credit grinding, which backfired miserably. So, leading up to the release of Beta 2, the official word was there was not going to be a character reset. That turned out to be untrue. I think they made the decision very last minute that they were going to reset everyone's characters and their progress, so my credit balance went from 800,000 credits to 1,000 credits again. And I earned a little bit over the course of yesterday to try and recoup some of that, but it's not enough. I was hoping to just burn Sky and go straight into the unexplored territories as soon as Beta 2 dropped, and that was going to be today, but yeah. So instead I'm going to be hauling some more fish and stuff like that. But there's some stuff to talk about before we get to that point. First of all, the station menu looks quite a bit different now. We can see in the middle all of our major stats here. It used to be on a tab over on this side over here. This side is now a news feed. Galnet News has been incorporated in-game finally. They've been promising it for a while. It's been in the newsletters that they email out weekly, but now it's incorporated right here in the game. And you have actual procedurally generated reports here in per system now that are part of the game too. So these are kind of cool. These are all wrong, by the way, because I'm working right now. I'm in solo mode because there are some network problems that they still have to work out. So I'm not actually playing in multiplayer right now. So all these are wrong. But you can see some of the cool stuff here. You know, they've got in-game news. I'm always a sucker for in-game news. I love the Cerberus network in Mass Effect. Even though you couldn't really access it from the ship, you had to do it from the main menu before you loaded. Even with that, I still thought it was pretty cool. Seeing how the universe is evolving around you and things like that. I love the news network in the captain's quarters in EVE Online. Even I didn't play EVE very much, but I like that kind of stuff. We got a whole bunch of new buttons down here. These are all just basically really quick stuff. So I'm 100% fuel, otherwise this would be lit up here. But, you know, common items, instead of drilling down in the menus over here, you know, the repairs, the munitions, that used to be a button over here for refueling and rearming. Now you can just do that really quickly here since you're going to be doing it so often anyway. Station services has moved over here. And that's actually the screen I'm on right now, so obviously that's not going to do anything. The repair screen is still the same. Munitions is still the same. The contacts are mostly the same. Universal Cartographics is a new button, which is basically the exploration market, I guess you could call it. So just like there's a commodities market for traders, there's also a market for explorers, such as what I want to do. So you can buy information here, and eventually you'll be able to sell information too. I don't have any information to sell yet because I don't really have a lot to gather information with. We're going to try to get to that before the next beta, at least anyway. I still need to find a way to replace my previous grind because they've actually where is it? Oh, I'm not actually at a trade station. I am at a different kind of station here. This is a I'm actually in a one of the new stations they've added. They've added outposts. So you've got, even though it shows, this is probably wrong, they probably need to change that. So even though it shows the standard Coriolis station here, the trading station, this is actually, I'm a little tiny, I've heard it described as a truck stop in space, sort of the sketchy kind of places. It's actually a little bit hard to dock with. So there's no actual trading function here because this is not a trading hub. You can still do a lot of stuff if you're in a small ship. If you're in a big ship, I don't think you can dock here. I could have probably docked. I could have docked with my Cobra just fine, but anything bigger than, you know, anything Lakon size, maybe, probably might not be able to dock here. That would be an interesting question. But we also got a bulletin board here. The bulletin board has actually seen a lot of changes. For starters, the busiest bulletin board I ever saw in Beta 1 was maybe 5 entries at a time, and this has almost twice that many just here. And these are actually, you've got some icons here to designate what kind of mission that is. These are all the kinds of missions I want. I don't want combat missions today. And I'm sorry if my voice wanders around a little bit, but my microphone is right smack in the middle of my screen. Uranite, I don't care. All manner. I need money, so I want to do a couple of these while we're talking. No. Waste refinery services to Styx. Nope. Don't want to go to Styx. Apollo. Emergency couriers required to resulting in a 3,000% increase in officer impersonation crimes. I don't know where. Oh, system. I don't want to go that far. I want to stick to known space right now just because I want to talk about stuff, not explore new things just yet. Uranite, I don't have a supply for, so it looks like we're just going to leave here empty-handed. Okay. And the only reason I'm actually in this station in the first place is because a bulletin board mission brought me here. So let's get out of here and let's get back to some of the space that we're familiar with. So yeah, the holographic aesthetic has sort of changed here. Also, we're back in our Sidewinder, of course. So that's where Bobblehead Toku over there is back. But you see, the heads-up display has actually changed a bit too. It's a little bit more transparent. It's a little bit harsher. It's a little bit easier to see because I've added a blue tone to it. So maybe it won't get washed out quite so badly near stars. I actually like this a lot better. It seems more refined. It also, there's sort of a, I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but there is sort of a fog effect. Sort of like it's being projected through a mist or something like that. I think that's pretty cool. So how about we get the hell at... Why is my... What in the bloody fuck is going on here? What? Why is this... Why am I... Why am I... Okay, something's wrong. My keys did something weird there. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. And we interrupt this launch in progress to give a look at the galaxy map, the changes to it, and also the system map. It's still really buggy. It's actually crashed on me a couple of times just trying to record this segment. I'm recording this after the end of the mission that you're about to see. But I wanted to show you really quick the new envelope for the explorable space. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't go down to Sol, which is our own star. Doesn't go quite that far yet. Actually, the reason I heard for them expanding it that way instead of in a sphere like before was because there's a bunch of unexplored space over here. This is all explored space over here, including Lave, which is a very popular place. What the hell? I didn't press on it. See, this is super buggy. I didn't even click on that star. Click on... No! That's not why I'm clicking. I'm clicking over here. Over here. Look. See? Over here. Closer. Still not where I want to go. Yeah, the map is really bugged out right now. Let's do a quick search here. So, no, it's right here. Just go here. There we go. That was my fault. So they took out the they took out all of the navigational points because otherwise it's going to get really cluttered here really fast. So now you have to actually select star systems or hover over them to see how far they are from each other, what their jump range is, and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a bit better, practically speaking, but navigationally speaking, it makes things a little bit more complicated. Something you'll probably get used to with a little bit of practice, but if I select it, can I look at its system view? Alright, so there's not a whole lot of changes to the galaxy map besides the explorable envelope and the destination, but here, the system view is where the action is. And you can see that it brings up an obviously not to scale view of what is in each system. So here's our main star there, and this is the Aranin system. And then there's Azaban. It gives you a little bit of information about the planet, what the population is, what its mass is, that kind of stuff. It also tells you what's in orbit. So here is Azaban Orbital, And here is Azman City, the station that we're used to dealing with. Here's the Aranon 2. It doesn't tell us much about the orbitals yet. I'm hoping it will. Actually, the does give you a little bit of a list about what's there, so you can actually get a heads up on where to go before you actually go. You can do that a couple different ways, though. And then there's another station here, but then there's all these other things there. If I exit out, I want to show you Ibutis from the system map, because Ibutis is kind of cool from the system map. So Ibutis is a very interesting system in that it has multiple stars. It actually is a quadruple system, along with a gas giant there. This is Dust Mayor Prime. This is Dust Ball here. Dust Ball we know about. But this is a brown dwarf, I think. But it also gives you a little bit of information on the stars themselves. You can actually see a little bit of their size difference, too. I wasn't expecting that. In the future, you'll probably see blue giants and stuff like that, so you'll be able to see color differences, too, like you can in the red dwarf here. But then you can see all of its various satellites and everything else in the system. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool system when they get it to work right. It's a little bit buggy still, a little twitchy. But when it gets done, I think it'll be pretty cool. So anyway, back to the launch. Alright, so there's the system map and the new version of the galactic map. The reason why I didn't go into it... Let me go, thank you.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
The reason I didn't go into it live is because that was one of those things that was bugging out. I didn't realize it until after I was done recording the first time that the stars still don't look quite right. But there's actually a bug with the galactic map where if you go into the galactic map and then come back into real space, it actually changes the skybox. I'm going to pitch around here so that you can see. That's what the Milky Way should look like when you're in space, because we're still pretty close to the galactic plane, right? So that's the rest of the galaxy there. But it was displaying the actual galaxy map version, which is way off plane. In fact, I was able to see some of my markers too, my current location marker and a destination marker. It was all bugged out. So all the stars disappeared. It actually made it really disorienting. Surprisingly enough, if all the stars disappear, it makes it really disorienting to fly. Oh, I should probably go back and look at that outpost code too, since we haven't seen that yet. Well, what was that? Is that a warp point, I think? Yeah, energy wake. So that's a new thing. I'm going to see if I can scan it. Might be too far away. Let's go do this first. Yeah, shut up. For some reason I can't... I really want to be able to use my scanners without bringing out the weapons. But it does not work that way. So this is a high-energy wake. This is basically what's left behind from a witch space out. So hyperspace out. You're supposed to be able to follow ships through their wake, basically. But I don't know if my scanners are... Yeah, my default scanners don't actually do anything with this. So I think you need some kind of wormhole investigator thingy. Wormhole scanner, maybe. This is just your standard basic scanner. It's not giving me shit. Okay, that's about what I figured. So far that scanner is still pretty useless. I haven't been able to do anything with it. But here's one of the new outposts here. Let's close the pitch. Yeah, so David Braben calls these, truck stops in space. Joe's Diner in space. They can get a little sketchy. They can get a little bit, they're a lot cheaper to build. So you'll find them actually probably more often. You'll see several different stations in a system now, rather than just the single station, the single trade hub. Some pretty cool stuff that you can see through the windows there. I'm guessing that in the future, when you're able to walk around, that you'll actually be able to see people inside some of these things. Something else I did while off camera was I changed my controls around a little bit. So now I do have it's not quite as good as saying having a track VR headset. I'm using my Xbox controller to actually move my head around. So I literally have every peripheral I own right now on my desk at the same time, all sort of competing for space. It works, but it could be a little sickening, so you've got that warning ahead of time. That almost looks like an anaconda in there. Oh, I think it is. Holy shit, I think that might actually be a dealership. I didn't look to see if there was a... Let's do another flyby here. Let's go slower. So I definitely see an eagle in there. See it in the corner. And I think that's a model of an anaconda. And another eagle. A cobra down in the bottom. 2 cobras down the bottom. Interesting. I wonder if that's a dealership. I didn't look to see if the shipyard entry was in there. Alright, so let's get the hell out of here. Let's do something useful. So... How about... Let's see, I'm in Owlin right now. We're familiar with Ibudis, so let's go to Ibudis. And I can't... Oh, damn it, I can't witch out directly from here. Alright, let's... unlock.
Drive charging.
The planet's in the way, so I can't go directly to it.
4.
So let's go around the planet.
2. 1.
They did change... They changed the warp animation a little bit. I don't like the hard edge to that. But you can see that they've changed the scanner now, so in Super Cruise you didn't used to have anything on scope except for other players, which of course we're not going to see because I'm in solo mode right at the moment. But now... my vector set here. But now you can see celestial bodies on the scanner. You can also see NPC ships. If we run into one of those. The NPC traffic is still pretty light so far. And let's jump to Ibudis here. See what's going on at Chango Dock. Come on, hurry up. Still be close to a planet here.
4, 3.
And they changed the witch out animation too a little bit. And it lags like crazy the first half second or so. Yeah, I don't know. I think I liked it better the old way. I'm going to start sounding like one of those elite players. Oh, it used to be better the old way. I think I actually liked the aesthetics a little bit better before. The heads-up display I think I like a lot more. Except for where they moved the Goram compass to, because that is directly where my microphone is. I'm going to be getting a mic stand pretty soon to get this out of our way. But that's not going to be today. Alright, so what do we got here? So you notice that it used to just be... I should probably slow down while I'm just screwing around, huh? End up going off into oblivion. So it used to just be Chango Dock here, and then the planets, and then the other stars. There's actually 4 stars in this system. Ibudis B, C, D, and A. And then the individual, or these are all the other systems that are in my current range. And then a handful of planets. We tried going to Dust Ball, I think, and we got stuck. But there's also a research station there now, which is going to be another one of those little pissant stations. We did all that without selecting a target. So let's head to Chango Dock and see what's going on. Actually, let's... You know what? What the hell? Let's go here. Let's see what's at the unidentified signal source, and maybe get ourselves blown up. Doesn't matter, because we're not carrying anything, and I don't have any custom weapons, and we're in the newbie ship, so it'll just be a matter of pride. My pride is expensive, though. There is a little ETA counter now down at the bottom. It does change, though, so it's not 100% accurate. Ah, see, there we go. There's an NPC ship right there that just left the unidentified signal source, it looks like. Can I cycle? I can. So I can cycle my scanner now in Super Cruise. I didn't used to be able to do that. Those blips are other NPCs. The red blip is going to be a planet. The hollow red blips. The blue blip, I think, is the nearby planet. There's another one. Okay. Let's drop out of Super Cruise here. See, the dropout animation I like. It's a lot cooler. It seems like they changed something else too to the background. I'm not sure what though. I can't describe it. It just doesn't look quite the same. Maybe it's a little bit more blank. Okay, there's contact there. Let's see what you got. What are you? You are Lacon Type 9. And you are clean. So I will not screw with you because I am a good person. Let's see what other information is available, though. You can see... not a lot. About the same stuff as you normally could. With other players, you're actually supposed to be able to see new information now. Just deselecting. So on this screen over here, this screen has changed. You can see my pilot's name, which has always been there. But you can also see my elite status, that emblem there. I don't think it should be harmless. I got 51 kills, but it might just be a placeholder for later on in the game. I'm going to have to see if there's a scale to tell me how many kills I need before I level up to my next rank. So harmless is the lowest rank. Goes all the way up to dangerous and elite. The more kills you get, the higher up your thing goes. And my bounties and all that kind of stuff. There's a... whoops. Let's see. Looking to buy a bulk CHA. I don't give a shit. Go away. There's a couple of new systems in here that you can mess around with the power on. There's also the Discovery Scanner, which I've got bound to my secondary fire button. I don't have any cargo. And there's also one new entry here, the pre-flight checks. We'll do that, and we'll actually do that on our way out of Chango Dock once we get our act together and go back to Chango Dock. Back to Chango Dock. Because it's kind of interesting. It's not something that I want to do every single time. Yeah, I don't have any whatever the hell you're looking for. Charisma. I don't have any of that either.
Drive charging.
I'm not sure about the heat gauge. They changed it. It's a little bit harder to read for me, but I think I can get used to it. I'm not complaining about that. They did actually change some of the scaling, I think, though, because I don't think Chango Dock was that far away from its primary star. I actually think that was closer than that. I think Chango was 300, like 600 light seconds away from the sun. And I'm still not even 1,000 light seconds away from it. I didn't get that far away from it. I didn't go and measure it, though, so I don't know for sure. They definitely changed some of the flight profile dynamics on the on Super Cruise as well, because it does accelerate a little bit differently. Yeah, I've been flying a Cobra for a while, so it's been a while since I've been in the Sidewinder, but it does actually accelerate slower when you're deeper in a gravity well than it used to. It used to be slow, but it didn't used to be quite that slow. Slow down a little bit. So I haven't quite gotten used to that dynamic just yet, so I might end up overshooting Chango. It's probably a good bet. I do that a lot. I'm gonna go to Chango. I'm gonna see what's in the bulletin board, and then we'll look at. Oops. Don't stop. We'll look at what's on the commodities menu, and then we'll do a quick commodity run and go over some of the news that I've been sitting on. But since I apparently don't know how to do two things at once, we're not going to do that just yet. It was weird. As much as I was playing this, especially over the week or two leading up to the release of Beta 2, I wasn't getting interdicted anymore. I was sort of going out and looking for trouble, but I was not getting stopped out and pulled out of Super Cruise. Lots of unidentified, every time I ran into a fight, I was actually the one looking for it. I would go out of my way to the unidentified signal sources, and I wasn't getting interdicted as much anymore, so I don't know whether that was on purpose or just some kind of coincidence or some kind of bug on my local profile. I'm not sure. But I haven't been interdicted here yet either in the new version. I haven't been playing much, though. I mean, maybe an hour tops. So even in solo, it's still struggling to load the new zone. Super Cruise drops you out a lot closer to the stations now, which is both good and bad. There's definitely, I was noticing this before, and I scratched it up to a bug, but it's definitely, what side am I on here? Let me go this way. But it is actually true. The lighting system has changed out here. So it used to be, Chango used to be maybe more red and not quite as well lit. So I'm not sure whether that's a permanent change or if it's just temporary. What do we got going on over there? Let's... Yeah, you can scan all you want to, just don't shoot. Oh, what am I doing? I was in the right side. Docking to a little... Okay, so when I was experiencing that bug with the galaxy map glitch, it was actually making the lighting a little bit weirder, but it's still a little bit weird on the bright side. It's okay on the dark side here, though. Pad 21. It's actually harder to tell which way to orient myself now. So something I think I don't like is that it's a lot brighter in here. Now, it does look like there's a lot more ambience, a lot more atmosphere. You can see that a lot of the lights are more foggy, I guess. But it is, to me, it's a little too bright. It should not be this bright in here. I liked it dark, sort of like they were trying to conserve power where they could. Yep. Still don't see anybody running around on the dock yet. They released their sort of teaser video in preparation for release of version 2. They had a lot of camera angles of ships docked with people running around their docking pads and stuff like that. Just NPCs that were just milling about. I was hoping to see some actual NPCs just running around here, just to give the dock some more life, rather than just the trucks that are in the background, but hasn't made it in yet. That's all right. What was I here to do? I was here to do this. Alright. So now we got the commodities market down here, and the contacts, I don't have anything to contact yet. Outfitting, we do need refuel, though. See how easy that is? That's easy. I like that. Okay, shipyard. They increased the prices dramatically. I paid $160,000 for my Cobra, and now it's 120 something. The Viper was, I think, 80,000 when I looked last. So they've jacked the prices all over the place. At 29 million credits for the Lakon Type 9. Goddamn. Definitely I won't be spending money on that one during the beta, that's for sure. Not if I can't keep it. Bulletin board, let's see if there's some cash roll that I have here. Wool, give me a break. What do you have here? Galite is another mineral I don't have a source for. Light transport. And you're going to LH306. Don't want to do that. Okay, well, nothing going on there. Nope. And commodities market, that's what I wanted. And so the prices on the commodities market have really changed a lot too, especially right down here. When I was off camera, I was farming. Basically, I was just running between Ibutus and Alice Primus. I was selling computer components from Ibutus, and I was bringing auto fabricators back here. The price is still roughly the same, but the demand was so much higher here that I was making a tidy profit. In my Sidewinder, it was hard because you only got 4 tons worth of cargo space. But in my Cobra, I was making 36 tons worth of cargo space. I was making 30,000 credits every time I brought auto fabricators back here. And I don't think that my profit margin would be quite that high this time around. I haven't actually looked to see what the auto fabricator price is, so let's... probably can't buy too many of these. Oh, I can fill my hold up, all 4. Whoopty shit. I'll take these to Acellus Primus.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And we're all set to go. That's all I really have to do here, so let's bug out. Now, remember I turned on the flight check. So what it's going to do now, it's going to bring up our pre-flight checklist. So I want to test and make sure that all my stuff works, right? It also would probably act okay as a, here are your controls kind of thing for somebody who's brand new. Maybe, possibly, if that's sort of thing that, if you're brand new to the game and you don't know what does what, this is probably a good time to test all your stuff. Not something that I want to do each and every time, though. I think it's kind of cool once in a while. You know, just like a real pilot would want to make sure that all of his stuff is working properly. Target ahead, primary fire, and focus. Pre-flight check done. Let's get the hell out.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
I'm gonna make sure to turn that back off immediately after I leave the station, but I don't want to take my eyes off the road here yet. It's bad enough that I might have gotten a speeding ticket in real life for going the speed of everyone else around me. Clear there. And let's turn off the pre-flight check again. So, news coming out of Elite Dangerous. For starters, they announced a new pre-order package called the Mercenary Pack. It includes, among other things, a digital copy of their concept art book, so that should be interesting. I don't know if it includes the soundtrack or not. I don't remember. I probably should have looked at that, but I'm not professional. Alright, so Aaron. What? That was a weird hiccup. It also includes one of the new things that they've added since my last Elite Dangerous video, which is ship paint jobs. Ship paint jobs are available in the store for purchase by real money. You can actually have custom skins on your ship. They're actually really cool looking skins, but my problem with them is that they're a couple of bucks per skin and they're exclusive to each ship. Now, if I had, a lot of the designs are similar from one ship to another. So there's one that's, white with red racing stripes, basically. But there's a version of it for the Sidewinder, there's a version of it for the Eagle. So far, it's really just the Sidewinder and Eagle that have gotten it. They've shown some of them for the Viper. And, of course, the Cobra has one limited edition version. The wire frame, like the classic Elite game. Acellus Primus, let's get there. Flip around because I want to make sure I can see the sun if I have to. Nope, we'll be fine. Okay. Oh! Pitched up a lot faster. That was me being used to my Cobra. My Cobra didn't pitch up quite that fast. So even though there are common designs between several ships, the ships themselves are individually skinned. So if you wanted the red and white for the Sidewinder and for your Eagle, you have to buy them twice. And don't get me started on the wire frame version of the Cobra skin, because that sucker is like $10. Even though it's limited edition, I get it. It's way too expensive for that kind of stuff. Be that as it may, the Mercenary version, the Mercenary pack that they announced, pre-order pack, includes skins, a handful of skins. We haven't seen how many or what kind yet. Okay, Beagle. Compass, there's. So we don't have any details on the actual skin pack that comes with the Mercenary pack yet. But it does also come with, in addition to your starter ship, your Sidewinder in my case, or in the case of Kickstarter backers, there were other packages. You start with a Cobra, stuff like that. In addition to your starting ship, you also get a complimentary Eagle, So I'm going to actually... the cool thing about the Mercenary Pack is that they announced that it'll be retroactive to anyone who has already bought the game before the announcement. So the people who have already, like myself, who already pre-ordered the game before they announced all the cool goodies that are going to be in the Mercenary Pack are going to get them for free anyway. So that is really cool for me. I don't like the idea of the skin packs, but I do like the idea if you're going to make a new pre-order pack after you've already sold a bunch of pre-orders. I do like that they at least made it retroactive for the other players. I think that's a very responsible thing to do. I'm good on that. So basically I got a bunch of free skins. I got a bunch of free, there's decals also, which we haven't seen any of yet, so I don't know exactly what those are going to look like. But decals come with the Mercenary Pack in addition to the free Eagle. So as soon as I have enough money to buy an Eagle here, I'm going to actually grab it, and I'm actually going to see what the price is. I think they sell them here. As soon as I have money to grab an Eagle, I'll get in the cockpit and see what it's like to fly that. I think the cargo spaces are comparable to each other. I'm going to try scanning. I have yet to get anything useful out of this scanner, so I don't even know if I'm doing it right. The way that I saw it described, and yeah, I didn't see anything pop up. So the way I saw it described is that the scanner is basically a sort of like a pulse that you launch out, and it will automatically read any returns that comes back. So it's not a directional scanner, it's sort of omnidirectional. Scans everything at once. I can target this. I'm going to actually try targeting the planet actually when I get here. Let's see what kind of information pops up. There's supposed to be new information that pops... I need to get out of its plane a little bit. There's supposed to be new information that pops up on the planets that is, you know, some of the same stuff that's available in the system map. But you're supposed to be able to see some of that in cockpit too, and gain more information. The whole point is to be able to learn more information when you scan a planet. My basic scanner probably can't do much, but eventually when the exploration system is really fully operational, you'll be able to go and scan planets. Yep, somebody just jumped out. That's what that dust is. I can only imagine the environmental impact of our witch space drives. It must be terrible. Must be yuppies all over the place griping about witch space. Some other news that came out since the last Elite video I've been hanging on to, and has since been implemented from Star Citizen. Star Citizen has announced at Gamescom they showed their quote-unquote teaser for their first-person shooter module, which is the most annoying thing that companies keep doing, is showing games, quote-unquote, without showing any gameplay. It was all completely pre-rendered, it was all scripted, it was just basically a cutscene from, like, Half-Life or something. They didn't show anything about the actual first-person shooter that they were going to have, and it annoys me even more that they're including it in the first place, because you still don't have much to do in your ship yet, and yet they're still talking about tacking on new stuff. I get that it's part of the design document. That's one of those things that they've been talking about that they were going to do. And as far as I'm concerned, they're using the Crytek engine, so I'm not actually as concerned about what they can deliver on that front. What I am concerned about is that Chris Roberts is a space simulator guy. He's not a first-person shooter designer, so I don't have a lot of fear that he can deliver a good space action game, but it's not the same thing as a first-person shooter. Even though the engine is designed as a first-person shooter engine, it's using Crytek. Even that, you know, just because you've got the engine to do it doesn't mean that you have the driving skills to do it, I guess you could say.
Successful.
Okay, let's exchange some of that. So that was annoying, and again, it was just a pre-rendered scene. There was no gameplay. They had some gameplay, maybe some gameplay assets involved in it, but it told us nothing. It told us a guy shooting. I know what a guy shooting looks like. There was some water. I know what CryEngine's capable of doing with water. So yeah, the water does not impress me. Bulwark instead of faffing here. Help free minds of invisible chains. Our agents have recently been enjoying a significant measure of success in educating local citizens about the manipulation. Unfortunately, they're starting to run low on brightly colored comics. So, I need to... At this point, okay, so one of the things that they've been doing over the past couple of weeks is that they've been experimenting with their living universe sort of system, so they can server-side inject new events. And one of the events that they were testing out during their 30th anniversary of the original Elite is that Aranin and the Federation started open warfare. Before, it was just sort of a Cold War. There were the hot zones that we looked at, but they declared open warfare. So now they're really going at each other, and there's a lot of missions in here that are sort of taking both sides of that. I've already done a Federation mission involving this, and I think I'm just going to do Mahar Stellar research in Ibudis. I'm heading back to Ibudis for sure, so it doesn't take any resources whatsoever for me to do it. So I'm gonna do that for some extra cash. I think that's why these cash reserve, the cash numbers on these missions are so high versus the commodity market, which is really low. I think they're trying to make up for all the money that they took from people, but I think that also they're trying to get people incentivized to actually test a lot of these new missions, and probably test the procedural generation of the missions too. Industrial Citizen. I don't have platinum. Don't have silver or platinum. Hallerstadt Han. I'm not going to Dahan. Industrial Citizen. What do you want? I told you I don't have any platinum. Air and light cargo transport required. I am heading towards Aranin, but I only have 4 metric tons worth of cargo space, so I can't do that one. That sucks. That's a nice profit on that. And scrap haulers to Dahan. I'm not going to Dahan. Okay. Commodity market. Let's unload these computer components. I'm used to seeing a much larger number than that. So at least their demand for computer components is high, so I'll get 1,000 profit from this run. Piddly, but that's better than nothing. And yeah, not going to be a terrific profit margin on this one. In fact, I think I can only afford to buy 2 metric tons of the freaking robotic auto fabricators, so let's do that. That's better than nothing. Alright, I'm topped up on fuel. Let's GTFO. And I did turn that off, right? Before I check off. Alright. Let's GTFO after I get this ready to go. Lots of extraction sites, so this is for mining. I should probably actually try that at some point. See what it says, see what that's all about. Aranin. Right. Okay. So, along with Star Citizen's first-person shooter, not trailer, not anything, just sort of cutscene-y thing, concept. In fact, I would just call that a concept scene. I wouldn't even call that a cutscene. They've released a couple of new commercials. They finished their commercials. I believe that it was part of their Kickstarter campaign where they were going to make commercials for all of their starter ships. They finally finished their starter ship commercial line with the Constellation. They, in addition to the commercial, they actually they actually redesigned the Constellation as well. They've actually redesigned a couple of the ships based on their feedback from players and from the forums and stuff like that. So they've done a lot of redesigning. They did some redesigning on the Constellation, which is their most expensive ship. It's like $250 to buy that ship for the pre-order of the game, and it's their exploration basically ship. But they added some new, I guess you could call them trim packages, trim models. If it was a car, there'd be different editions of the same car, which is sort of the model they're going off of. So there's a luxury version, there's a hardcore exploration version, there's a sort of a cargo hauler version, and stuff like that. So they released that, and they released the new commercial for it. Yeah, pretty cool. Still not paying as close of attention to the gameplay as I would like to see them being paid. They did release a couple of new game modes for their multiplayer early access part. So there's a capture the flag variant. I forgot what they call it, capture the core or something like that. And they've been tuning the flight model a bit, but from what I've seen, it still is not really flyable with anything other than a mouse yet. Seems kind of weird. But they also added a racing mode. I'm not sure what to think about the racing mode, actually. I'm supposed to be in here, to Mahar Stellar Research. That's in Ibutis, though, right? What? I'm in the right goddamn screen. Go over here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Ibutis. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think about the racing just yet. I like the idea that they're trying to incorporate sort of more of a living universe kind of thing. It does feel. I think that the feel he was going for, Chris Roberts was mentioning, sort of like the Formula One of the Star Citizen universe. I get that sort of vibe. It actually doesn't look terrible, but I've played GTA and I've played a little bit of racing in flight simulators. It's really hard to get racing in a flight simulator to work right. It's just, there's something different about racing in a flight simulator versus racing in, a car or something like that. Racing in a car is a pretty easy sort of a... How far out is this? Wow, it's way out there. Where am I? Let's get away from the sun a little bit. That's why I like this heads-up movement. Even though it's a little bit wonky, and I have to take my hand off the keyboard to do it, it helps me orient, especially when the sun is involved. I would still like to see a button that you could press to automatically head track your target. That'd be nice, but I can live with that right now. So yeah, racing in a flight simulator is really different than racing on the ground, because on the ground there's a lot of really strong physics, I guess you could say, that sort of influence how and why you do the things you do. It is about trying to balance out what physics is capable of doing in real time versus what you can make it do. I guess it's hard to describe that. I've got it in my head right, but when you take a turn in a car, you're fighting friction, and you're sort of pitting friction against centripetal force and a little bit of body roll. You're pitting all kinds of physics against each other, and sort of trying to find that very fine line. I've been talking over this music. I forgot to mention that they put music in Super Cruise now. I think it's really cool. Let's just listen to this for a second. I think it adds something to it. So there's a lot of physics that a driver has to do in his head, even though he's not doing math per se. But that's really what you're doing when you're talking about racing. You're talking about physics, and you're talking about really walking a very fine line between making all the physics work and breaking one of them and causing yourself to go into a spin or into a roll or into your neighbor, and trying to get as closer to that line than the other guy. Is really what you're talking about when you're talking about racing in a car, especially at the high speed, Formula One style. When you're talking about an airplane, there's only so much that you can actually do with those physics. There's if you're talking about a plane race in real life, there's a certain amount of endurance in it. You can take a high-speed turn better than somebody else, for example, because maybe you're in better physical condition to withstand the G-forces. You can push your plane into its performance envelope as far as possible. But even plane racing is not that popular in real life because it's hard to watch. It's hard to be in many places at once, and it's just not incredibly interesting versus cars where you can do a lot of stuff and a lot of things can be happening on the track. There's only so much that you can do in a plane during a race, and I've seen a couple of races in Star Citizen because it's part of the game now. They've actually released the module. When I was looking at it and thinking about topics for this video, that was before they actually implemented it. So I've actually seen it in action a couple of times too, and I just don't know. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great world-building idea. I think it's a great diversion to have available. I just don't know how well it actually works. I've raced in Jesus, it is a long way out to this research station, isn't it? And I'm at max throttle too. No, don't slow down. Speed up. You're still way too far away. I don't know. I don't know if I like... Oh, that's why I'm close to a planet over here. Must be... Up. There it is. Oh, come on, I'm not that far. I'm not that close to it. Yeah, I don't know. The racing thing seems like an interesting idea that just I don't understand why they would make that a priority over getting the rest of the game put together. Maybe it was easier, I don't know. But considering they had a lot of custom places that, you know, the race that I've seen take place, there's one map so far that I've actually seen the races take place in. And it is not a map in space. So it's not a map that you can... Ooh, shit. So it's not a map that you can do anything else in. It's sort of like Cloud City in Star Wars, except many little islands, sort of floating buildings and stuff like that. It looks like it actually almost reminds me more of Firefly than it does of Star Wars, maybe. But there's a lot of... Where the hell is this place? Is it along the line here? Okay, so this is Ibutus D. This is one of the other stars. It's a very dim looking thing. And I forgot that I was gonna... Oh, I gotta go to the other side. I forgot that I was gonna try and scan one of these. So once I get into local space here... Proximity, my ass, shut up. Once I get into local space of this research station, then I'll try locking onto a planet and see what kind of information it gives me. There's a conflict zone all the way out here? Jeez. Maybe they're fighting for the research station? Dust ball. Oh, there's a dust ball. Oh, okay. Why the hell would they be fighting all the way out here? So yeah, it's... Another thing that they released were new hangars. So I guess the last hangars that they had for Star Citizen were placeholders for these new ones. I don't get it. Unless the hangars are actually going to be part of the final game, why are you spending so much time on that? There's no way. These hangars look awesome, which means that there's no way that they just threw them together. There was some time and effort spent on getting these stupid things to work, and to get them to look cool, and to get them everything rigged up so that you can walk around them. They look great. Why are you spending so much time on it? To deliver these people the game that they've spent, by this point, as of recording this, Guinness Book of World Records just basically announced that they were the highest crowdfunded, which, you know, they were already above 50 million in crowdfunding, so it's not a stretch to imagine. Okay, so let's... Oh, something else. I don't know if you can hear it. It's sort of hard to hear, but my thrusters actually make noise now. They didn't used to. Can we lock onto that planet? No. Lock onto that planet? No. Okay, well, so much for that. Okay, now here's my problem. I never know where the frickin' docking ports on these places are. I think they're right here, so let's stop and get permission to dock.
Request
So there's my docking pad there. So, since there's no central docking pad, it's hard to get lined up for an approach. You have to basically make your own approach as you go. And that requires knowing where the damn pads are, and each of these stations is a little bit different about where their pad layout is, and I haven't gotten to the point where I can recognize them by sight quite yet. I think it's an interesting dynamic, actually. There's somebody else coming in right beside me, it looks like. I think it's really cool. I like this. I like the added technical challenge to try and dock at this place. Even though, as Scott Manley pointed out, these assets are obviously reused from the other stations. And in the Elite universe, at least the versions of it that I've been hearing about through the newsletters, there's no artificial gravity, which makes these buildings make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Even docking on the pad here is magnetic.
Docking
Right there.
successful. Engines disengaged.
So let's get our cash money from the bulletin board here. And there's that. Give message and give me cash. High performance fuels. I don't even know where I'm going to get fuels from, so I don't know why I even clicked on that. What do you want? You want Bernadite? I'm going to have to stop looking at those. All they want is minerals all the time. Here's a bunch of shooting missions here. I'm guessing that these are more mercenary missions. These are, I think, pirate missions, I think is what this icon is for. Eventually they're going to actually implement the faction system too. They've got the factions listed here, so each mission you do for a faction or fail for a faction will increase your reputation with that faction. I don't think that that's implemented yet, so it doesn't matter, for example, that I'm playing both sides against the middle on the Aaron and Independence movement here, and I don't need that. Okay, we are done here, so let's launch.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
And make sure that I'm not on a collision course with that buoy there. And set for Chango. So yeah, I'm still concerned about Star Citizen, about whether or not they're going to be able to deliver everything they've promised, especially since they keep promising new things. I don't know if the racing thing was part of their plan originally or not.
Drive charging.
I know the FPS thing is there, but they should not be talking about it yet until they have something to show.
Engage.
And until they have the core game. It's just, they're not, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really worried. I'm worried that it's going to, there's a weird distortion on that. I wonder if that means the space is being distorted. I'm worried about how Star Citizen's success or failure is going to affect the rest of the gaming sort of development from here on out. What I'm concerned about is if they don't deliver on these lofty promises that they've made, then the crowdfunding possibility is going to drop out. There's not going to be as many people that are willing to do. This is a very high-profile case. They cannot fail on this. If they fail to deliver, then it's going to put a freeze on the people who are willing to spend money on early access development and on sort of new startups and stuff like that. It's going to stymie. Well, I had a really weird change there in background. I don't know what that was about. It's going to really hurt other companies coming in later. You know, the Kerbal Space Programs, the other Star Citizens, the other Elite Dangerouses that might come along with really great ideas, and they just they don't have a publisher. The publisher is just a little bit too leery about maybe their idea is just a little bit too far out there. They don't have a proven track record, something like that. And if Star Citizen takes $50 million and going and climbing, if they take $50 million worth of crowdfunding and do not deliver what these people are hoping for, at this point, they're working against themselves. They're building up the hype to the point where I don't think they can possibly deliver what they're telling people they can. And it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt this genre, the space flight simulator genre that I really love. That's why I'm playing this, for God's sake. I want to see it I want to see it reborn. I want to see it have a renaissance, and I'm concerned that Star Citizen is going to screw it up if they don't get their act together and start really, hammering the sort of development that they need to be hammering on. And to be fair, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Maybe they have got the most incredible game in the world, just months away from showing people, but that is not the impression that I'm getting based on the information that keeps coming out of there. They're spending a lot of time. They just tweaked another model. They tweaked another, I was talking about the Constellation, how they changed the model based on user feedback. They changed another one of their heavy bomber. I don't know as much about their lore as I would like to. But their heavy model, they just released new videos of their redesigned heavy bomber. Stop redesigning ships. Start designing the game. Get the game running so that people can actually play it. Then go and redesign ships after that. I don't know. Versus Elite Dangerous right here. Every time I come into this game, there's something new. There's something cooler. The playfield went from the playfield. Every new beta, the alpha, the original alpha, when it was first multiplayer alpha started, you had 5 star systems. In beta, the beta, there was 50. In beta 2, now there's over 500. They keep expanding the play envelope every time they come to the table. They've got a new ship, the Asp Explorer, which I can't believe I didn't mention. They don't have any of the Imperial ships yet. There's at least 2 Imperial ships, the Imperial Courier and the other one. I don't know as much about the Imperial stuff as I would like to. I will at some point learn, but they're completely different aesthetics than the ships that we've seen so far. Completely different, inside and out. I've seen I've seen the concept art for the Courier, the outside, and I think that they showed the interior in one of the newsletters. Looks really cool. Completely different than everything else. Is it just me, or is there a lot of stuff in a line here that probably shouldn't be? What's my contact list say? Holler, wake. Oh yeah, so this is new too, so you're able to actually see these kind of things when you're in system, rather than just, hey look, there's a dot. Wow, it really does take a long time to get from the outer solar system. Who'd have thought that? Yeah, so I don't know. Elite Dangerous has got a date. They're hoping to have the final version done this year in 2014. I don't think it's going to make it. I think they're going to slip a little bit into 2015. I'm not actually concerned about that, though, because every time they bring something new to the table, it improves things. The heads-up display, not a necessary, not really a necessary thing, but I think maybe enough people were complaining about it that it was okay. I mean, I'm okay with the redesign. It doesn't change things drastically. And I don't imagine that it took a whole lot of assets to do. But they're making progress in other places too, so I'm willing to give them that sort of benefit of the doubt. They're advancing other places, and they're giving they're giving new stuff to the game every time they update it. So if they want to update cosmetics, fine, let them update cosmetics. Go wild with the cosmetic updates, as long as you're giving new gameplay, as long as you are continuing to make, steps that can be seen towards the game that you've promised. And so far, that's exactly what they've been doing. Every step of the way, this is the game that we promised you were going to be able to play. Here's another step towards that promise. Star Citizen, on the other hand, keeps giving us new promises, almost like a freaking politician. I don't know. I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I really do want to be wrong about Star Citizen. I'm just starting. Every time I see something new coming out of Star Citizen, I can't help but think that they're going to be in development limbo. I cannot help but feel like Star Citizen might be the next Duke Nukem Forever. I hate saying that. I hate saying that I don't know if they're ever going to actually finish the game that they have promised these people they're going to be making. It might end up being the next Daikatana, then the next super hyped game that doesn't deliver anything. John Romero, I think, was Daikatana. John Romero had great plans, had a great reputation going into Daikatana. We haven't heard a damn thing from him since then, because that game apparently sucked. I never played it. Duke Nukem Forever was in development for so long and was so overhyped that when it came, you know, it sucked. Granted, the the expectations might not have been quite as high for Duke Nukem as it was for Daikatana, but still, Too Human was hyped tremendously. I haven't heard a word about that since that got released, because man, did that game not deliver what they were hoping to deliver on. I can't help but wonder if Star Citizen is going to end up going down that same road. I hope not. But in the meantime, we don't have to really worry about Star Citizen. Here we are in Elite Dangerous, almost done. This game is close to done. If this was the final version of the game, I don't know if I'd be too unhappy about it at a standard $50 price. I've paid $125 for this game so far, which is another one of those reasons why I'm not thrilled with the idea of buying skins for my ships, because I've already paid $125 to get in this game. Between the $75 for the early access pre-order and another $50 for the unlimited, the subscription to the, what is it? The DLC, basically, subscription. So I'm gonna have all of the DLC when it comes out. It comes with the package that I've already ordered. I'm willing to pay $125 for the game and all DLC, because I believe that the DLC will deliver based on what they've said so far and what I have seen of the game itself. I'm not... Maybe I should be paying attention to my speed here too. I do not have a problem with $125. What I do have a problem with is paint jobs after that. So, I'm going to get the game that I want to get. And I just hope that the people who are backing Star Citizen get the game that they want to get. And for that matter, I want to see the game that they get too, because I'm really looking forward to their universe. Looks really cool. I'm still not convinced. They still haven't sold me on it. But our flight here is almost done. It's still too light in here, I'm telling you. It's too bright. It should be darker. Whoa, that was a little fast.
Successful. Engines disengaged.
And turbulent services. Let's sell my Goombas here, and we'll be done for today. We'll come back next time with a better ship and hopefully some cash, and then we're going to start exploring some of the new territory out there. I just want to see what my profit is before I cut this short. Where is it? Where? There it is. Tiny little number. Are you kidding? That's terrible. That is terrible. That is a terrible profit. I knew I wasn't going to get profit off of that. So I'm going to have to... Next time, I'll also have figured out what my next credit grind will be, because that's obviously not going to work anymore. But until then, this has been Schadenfreude Gamers, and we'll see you next time.